Your posture and how you hold your body while sitting or standing is the foundation of every movement you make. It not only influences your attractive appearance, but it also influences your emotional state. Of course, it will also have influences on your well-being and on your health on the long run. As a tall lady, we often struggle with having a good posture because we tend to feel tall and sometimes even make ourselves smaller automatically, even unconsciously. This has really bad consequences for our posture and how we look like and feel like, and the bad habits of today, like sitting a lot at the desk, at the computer, or looking on your smartphone. It all makes it even worse. So our posture generally is getting worse and worse. And that's why I have made this video for you, especially for us tall ladies who have it especially difficult. I want to share with you my experience and my knowledge and give you some very practical and effective tips on how to improve your posture on the long run when you are a tall lady, what to pay attention to. And I will also show you a very effective exercise in the end by my physiotherapist that will help you to relax after a long day at the office. And by the way, this is not only helpful for us tall ladies. We tend to slouch and tilt our heads even more than the more petite ladies, but the tips will be applicable and helpful for all of you if you want to have a graceful, elegant and confident posture as a lady. Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the new viewers. If you are not yet subscribed, then consider subscribing, and also don't forget to activate the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Just push the button and I will be glad to see you again. We will first start with what a good posture actually looks like. So when we are thinking about good posture or a woman who has a good posture, we often imagine maybe a ballet dancer, because ballet dancers are often very graceful and elevated, look elegant. But we might also think of some celebrity woman who is known to be very graceful and elegant. Yes, those women, most of the times they have a really good posture. That's why we actually perceive them as elegant, confident and attractive. Because a good posture will make you look attractive, more confident and in the end graceful. So when we think about a good posture, what is typical for having a good posture? First of all, when you look on the back, then their spine will be in a line. So it won't be like tilted to some side. If you look from the side, of course you will see some curves. That's normal. One curve in the neck area, one in the shoulder area, and another one in the back, in the lower back. That's normal, but you will be able to draw a line from the top of the head downwards to the ankles. And this is because with an elevated and good posture, there will be this balance in the middle. There won't be any slouched position of the spine or the neck. So that's what a bad posture would actually look like. And what, unfortunately, we do quite often as tall ladies. So in our daily life, it is a fact that we as tall ladies in an environment where there are many petite persons, not only women but also men, we tend to make ourselves smaller because we often feel uncomfortable if we are taller. That of course has to do a lot with mindset, and I will also come to that, but it is just a fact and we do it sometimes just unconsciously. I think men also might have this problem sometimes, but due to their mindsets and due to the fact that it is totally accepted in society that a man is tall, it is even something positive. They don't have that much problems with the posture that we have. And on the other hand, there are environments in which it is very positive to be a tall woman. For example, among the catwalk models, I think my height that I have, and it's 1.75 meters, I will also translate it in inches for you. It is actually the minimum height, or it was the minimum height for being a catwalk model. So in those environments, I would certainly not feel tall. I would maybe feel average or even smaller than many other women. But I am talking about normal environments, about our daily life. And in our daily life, we unfortunately tend to make ourselves smaller, slouch our backs, tilt the heads in many situations, and this way have a bad posture. Now, before you can change something about that, you have to know and understand what the consequences of a bad posture actually are. I have already implied that in the beginning, but let's look at that a bit closer. So first of all, your appearance. Of course, you will appear much more timid and shy, insecure, less attractive, simply less attractive. Because if you have slouched shoulders or are not elevated, you look as if you are feeling inappropriate and are in a bad mood maybe. This will give you a negative look and people will perceive you like that. But that's not the only thing. You will most probably also feel insecure and inappropriate, because if you have watched one of my last videos about radiating sensual confidence as a woman, I explained there how our posture actually influences our emotional state. I will link that video here and down below so that you can watch it afterwards, because it's really interesting how much the posture actually influences your mood. And also it's about body language. We talk with our bodies, and if our body language communicates sadness to other people, they will also perceive us like that. And if we want to look more elegant and graceful, that's all absolutely not beneficial. And now comes the worst part that we are not even talking a lot about on this channel, because we are rather talking about the appearance and the mental part of being sophisticated and elegant and looking like that. But what about your health? Our health will deteriorate. We will have many dysfunctionalities of our muscles and our skeleton with the time. Sooner or later we will have back pains or neck pains, headaches, etc. So that's absolutely something that we should avoid on the long run if we want to stay young and graceful as we are getting older. So now I will give you the solutions. I will give you 5 tips that you can apply every day and that will be easy to apply, because it all doesn't help if you just hear it and don't actually do it, cannot actually apply it in your daily life. That's why it was so important for me to offer you practical solutions that I have tried myself. The first thing for us tall ladies, number 1, sitting. So as we are sitting for a lot of time during our day, and especially when we are working in the office or working at the home office with computers or laptops, is to adjust our environment, our sitting environment, to our body, to our height. So if you are working at a desk, if it's in the office, you probably have a professional desk and a professional chair. Try to, first of all, elevate the screen of your computer. If you're using a laptop, try to put it on a book or something higher so that you don't have to tilt your head while working, so that you can simply sit in a comfortable upright position. That's number 1. It's easy to do. The second thing is, if you have the chance to adjust your table and your chair, do that. With regard to your table, it should be high enough. Rest your arms on the table with very relaxed shoulders and also with your arms close to your body. So it should not be like that or like that. You should be able to rest them in a very comfortable position. Then when you're sitting on your chair, your knees should be in a 90 degree. If you're sitting too low, this will have negative consequences on your whole posture, on your hips, on your joints, and of course your whole body. At home we cannot always do that, but then at least try to elevate your upper body from time to time, not slouch your back too much. When you are sleeping, most of us are side sleepers. If you are not a side sleeper, tell me in the comments, because I have really tried not to sleep on my side anymore and sleep on my back due to the skin, but I really couldn't manage until now. I simply cannot fall asleep when I'm not sleeping on my side. And I think most of us women sleep on our sides. So when you're a tall lady, and in general, when you are a side sleeper, in order to maintain a good posture also while sleeping, I recommend you to really put attention on having a good pillow that supports your neck as a side sleeper, and also put another pillow in between your knees. This way you will maintain a good posture while sleeping, which is quite important because we sleep many hours, and we shouldn't forget this aspect of our life with regard to our posture. Number 3, the shoes. As a tall lady, at least the tall ladies that I know, me included, are rather wearing flatter shoes because we simply don't want to be even taller in many situations, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't wear heels. Of course you can wear heels, and I also do that from time to time, but it is very important to really be aware of our posture then. But I have to be honest, with regards to a healthy posture, it is more beneficial for you to wear flats. And if you want to know how to look sensual and feminine in flats, you should watch my video about that, and I will also link that down below for you to watch afterwards. Number 4, exercise. That's probably one of the most important tips, but I mean, try to pick an activity that you do at least once or twice or rather more a week that will strengthen your core muscles. So I mean here the muscles of your belly, but also your whole core set. Because this is very important for your posture, for your back and your shoulders and your neck, etc. Exercise or activities that are especially good for a good and elegant posture are Pilates, yoga and dance, especially ballet dance or belly dance, so oriental dance. That's what I am doing at the moment. Because Pilates is a sport or an activity that even has been designed and invented for dancers. It has a lot to do with posture for ballet dancers. And if you think of a ballet dancer, of course you think of a very elegant and graceful woman with an especially good posture, which is true for ballet dancers. But in other dances you can also improve your posture. For example, as I said, oriental dance or belly dance. With regard to the social dances like bachata and salsa that I'm also often recommending, they will be very good for your feeling, for your femininity and for your confidence, but they not always put a lot of emphasis on postures. With those other activities, the teachers or trainers often correct your posture when you have a bad one. But in general, find an activity like that and do it regularly. That's the key. Because on the long run, you will only be able to maintain a good and upright, elegant and graceful posture when your muscles are engaged and strong enough. If you have weak muscles, you will not be able to maintain a good posture. And tip number 5, often remind yourself during your daily life and activities and correct your posture. So this is something that is very important to do, and it's actually quite easy to do, but you need a reminder. So for example, every time you pass a mirror or some surface where you can see yourself, so something like a mirror, correct your posture. Because as tall ladies, we will always fall back into the slouched position, into, the bad posture. But if we constantly remind and correct our posture several times a day, it will become much more familiar. And over the time, with the other tips, you will improve. It will influence your appearance and every other aspect that I mentioned. And for that, you can simply use Malena's basic posture that I have talked about so much in my previous posture videos. I'm explaining it more in detail there, so I encourage you to watch those videos. Here I will quickly explain it to you. It's really fast, you can do it within seconds. So you start with elevating your head as if it's pulled up on an invisible string, then you push your head back to the middle, then you roll your shoulders back and let them fall. You elevate this part of the chest here, but at the same time you have to push back your ribs and activate your core. Pelvis should be in a neutral position and you should not lean too much to the back or to the front. That's the basic posture by Malena. And this is something that you can do in an instant. So let's say you slouched back into your rather bad posture again, and maybe you are standing somewhere waiting for the bus or like in a shop and passing a mirror. You remind yourself, basic posture, and then automatically you elevate yourself, engage your core, roll your shoulders back, and you simply go on with your daily life with this correction. And that's something that you should do several times a day. Try it. It is really not a big deal. You can really implement it very easily, and that's what I find very important here. And now, as promised, I will share with you the very effective exercise that you can do after work or when you come home and have just a few minutes for yourself. So the only thing you need for that is a blanket like this. So this one is from IKEA, but you can take whatever you like, but it should be big enough. So a towel would probably not be enough. And I will show you now what you should do with that. And if until now you liked my video and you found my tips helpful, I will be very, very happy if you give me a thumbs up, because this really helps me, it motivates me, and it keeps me going. Thank you, and watch my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. So, you take your blanket and fold it. It should be more or less as wide as the space you need to overstretch your middle and upper back. So it depends a little bit on your height, of course. You roll it, and then in the end it will look more or less like this, depending on the material that you are using. And then we place this roll on the floor, on a surface, and it should fit under your middle and upper back. Don't forget to also put some kind of head support, so a pillow for example, because of course we will overstretch when we lie down. And then from this slouched position, we will overstretch our shoulders and our spine in the middle, and then our head will fall back. And in order to support the head and the neck, it is important to put something under your head. Now I will lay down and place myself correctly so that the roll is, as I said, under my spine, and I can simply relax and overstretch the middle part, the back that is usually rounded by the bad posture. And I can also relax my shoulders. My shoulders will fall back. The middle of my chest will be elevated. My head has to be also relaxed, so pay attention to that. And we will just lay down and relax. This is something that you can do for 5 minutes or even more. And after that you will really feel stretched. Your shoulders should be not as rounded anymore. And it's really nice. So thank you for watching, and see you in my next one.